Okay people, just like that, the spring 2021 anime season is coming to a close with us entering July and getting ready to start the summer season of anime. I felt like it was appropriate to take a look back at some of the gems of this season, maybe some of the series that weren't talked about enough, and just in general what the spring 2021 anime season was looking like, because I'm not even gonna lie, coming from the winter season of anime that we just finished, it was like, whoa, I honestly thought like, yo, there's no way that spring season is gonna be able to do anything to hold a candle to what winter was. I mean, we had Jujutsu Kaisen, we had a crap ton of stuff from winter that was really strong. Attack on Titan final season, like every other week we was just going crazy with the winter, but spring season came along and it showed us like, yo, it actually had something to say. So without further ado people, let's talk a little bit of spring season anime, because yeah, there was some gems that people aren't talking about, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the person that actually talks about some of them, and some of the ones that we already talked about, and just in general take a look at the spring season of 2021's anime. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay people, so with the spring 2021 anime, for starters, 2 series, or 3 series for that matter, off the bat that we didn't even have access to, at the very least legally, because they were on the Netflix jail, Netflix lock, was the 7 Deadly Sins' final season, which I want to say we just got the first 12, but we didn't even got the full 24 of it yet to, wrap that bad boy up. So that was one that was locked in, which we already, that's par for the course with the 7 Deadly Sins. It's been in the Netflix jail since it pretty much started coming over here. So 7 Deadly Sins we didn't have access to. Shaman King, the remake that's been coming out, we also haven't had access to that one, as well as Eden's Zero, the latest work from the creator of Fairy Tail Hiro Mashima. Those both will be coming in August, but yeah, they were spring season anime, and unfortunately we couldn't watch them, and I ain't gonna lie, that was a bummer, because like I was like, okay, coming into the season we started getting knowledge of, oh, this is going to be with Netflix, that's going to be with Netflix, we're not going to be able to watch them. I thought it was doom and gloom for the spring season. I'm like, well, what the hell are we going to be able to watch then if we're, 2 of the biggest titles, Hiro Mashima's Eden Zero and the Shaman King remake, what are we gonna do? But there was still some tough contenders. One off the rip that I think absolutely deserves more attention and people didn't really look out for, unfortunately, is Megalobox Nomad, aka the sequel to 2018's Megalobox, which is based off Ashita no Joe, the boxing series, but this one is like a reimagining, so to speak, of the story with Gearless Joe, and bam, I didn't know what to expect coming into the second season. I thought like, oh, maybe this will be good, but honestly, it is high grade, high quality stuff. Like, genuinely speaking, I've seen a lot of people, and I'd throw my hat in there as well to kind of say that it felt like a masterpiece. Like Megalobox 2 with Gearless Joe, it was just a whole different tone. Like, we went from a hip-hop element like type of vibe with season 1, and kind of this, not coming of age, but basically somebody that they wanted to live their dreams and they kind of were stifled because of X, Y, and Z, their living conditions, and ultimately at the end of the series living their dreams, to their dreams shattering, their world shattering, and having to pick up the pieces. A lot of Megalobox 2 was picking up the pieces of a broken life, of a broken dream, and bam, the way everything was done was like, holy cow, from all of the characters being misplaced, basically, being all around, and Joe having to do things on his own from the very beginning. And I ain't gonna lie, when we first started, I'm like, well, what the hell happened? Where's Nambu? Where's Sachio? What is going on here? And it was a travesty. I mean, some small spoilers I'm gonna throw in here. 3, 2, 1. Joe being addicted to drugs and, just having his whole life in ruins after the death of Nambu, the, boxing trainer that he had by his side throughout part 1. That shit, that broke me up. And throughout the story, seeing Joe having to overcome that when he meets the chief, I think his name was the chief, if I'm not mistaken. It was the Hispanic dude that he meets that's also like a boxer. He's a megalo boxer as well. And just seeing Joe go from being addicted to, being broken down, having hallucinations, seeing Nambu everywhere, to ultimately reuniting with Sachio and them hating him and shit. Like, it was just powerful. By the way, spoilers over, so yeah. Honestly, Megalobox 2, from the art and animation that gave a very, very much so 90s aesthetic feel, similar to the first Megalobox, to just the story in general being so much darker. It went from a hip-hop OST type of vibe with season 1 to more so like Hispanic music and things like that with the OST for part 2. And I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know if we'll ever see any more of Gearless Joe after this, because basically towards the end, it doesn't seem like Joe will ever box again due to X, X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to get into spoilers like I said, but fam, what a journey Nomad was. Megalobox 2. It was honestly, it was sad throughout it. It was depressing throughout it, but it also gave a certain satisfying feeling to see that, first of all, it was, again, just a high quality story, but also to just see Gearless Joe navigate through some of the most darkest things a human can go through, and overall, to a certain degree, triumph. If there's one complaint I would have about Nomad, one, and it's very small, and it doesn't deteriorate me from saying that Megalobox 2 Nomad was phenomenal and honestly a very, very high quality, type of anime or high quality story in general, was, again, small spoiler, 3, 2, 1. It felt like Joe didn't really get any victories in terms of in the ring. It more so was like the ring was at this point not necessarily, maybe you could argue an aesthetic of like, hey, it's a boxing show, right? Like, so you gotta show a little bit of boxing from time to time, but Joe didn't really get any W's in this. If I'm not mistaken, did he even win one? Holy cow, that might be the ironic nature of it all, because he pretty much, I want to say he won one battle and it was like a small spar, but that was about it. For the most part, Joe took a L every time he got in that ring, which it was also maybe a sign to say that, yo, it's time to hang it up. Time to hang it up. With certain pieces of Team Nowhere no longer being around, it was time to move forward for Joe. And spoilers over, by the way, but very, very powerful stuff. Megalobox Nomad, if you've seen part 1, I highly recommend you watch part 2 and get ready, because it's a darker vibe, it's an edgier vibe, and it's a more serious and mature vibe. But Megalobox 2, Megalobox Nomad wasn't the only thing awesome about this season. There was plenty of the series. There were some ones that honestly got a lot of criticism, that even myself, I gave it a lot of criticism. For example, Season 5's beginning of My Hero Academia. A lot of the Class A versus Class B stuff. For me personally, I wasn't all that excited about. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I would be a little bit like, oh my god. I mainly throughout the whole thing kept thinking like, oh, okay, my Villain Academia is gonna start soon, because I'm a manga reader, I know what's to come. So that's really what kept me going throughout it. And then the fact that midway through, and we're supposed to get into My Villain Academia, they switched things around. I was like, oh, because yeah, My Hero Academia Season 5, I would argue, is the slowest start for any My Hero Academia season. And like, people used to criticize Season 1, and obviously it was just a setup, but in comparison to any first half of a My Hero Academia season for the first 4 seasons, yeah, I think they did an okay job. This one was kind of like, because the stakes of the series is so high at that particular point. We went from, like the overhaul stuff and All for One. You go from all of that to a training arc for like the first damn near 12 episodes. Yeah, it wasn't the most interesting. It was not the greatest in the world. So My Hero Academia, unfortunately, while everything else was kind of cooking, My Hero has kind of like just been holding people over till, yeah, let's get to the real good stuff. Because again, like I've been saying, once we get to a certain part, it's going to just be up, up, and away for this shit. So My Hero Academia, it wasn't the greatest, but hey, at the very least, we got some new episodes, so there's that. I know that's not like the greatest thing to say, but it is what it is. Then there was a really cute little romance anime, or romance comedy, shall I say. A lot of people would just call it a straight bullying, but please don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro-san. We also talked about that here on the channel, with a little bit of controversy that went down as well in the community regarding that one, but that series surprised me as well. I genuinely thought it was going to just be like a stupid little show that like, whatever, be entertaining, and yeah, it was kind of a silly little show to a certain degree, but when the story actually started to develop, and when it actually started to take itself a little bit more serious than just being this little, comic strip, hey, it's a funny joke, she's bullying him or whatever, when it actually took it a little bit more serious, and you see as the story develops, Nagatoro's, I guess you would say, feelings for Senpai start to formulate, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna lie, I was actually really sad to see it end. Not that it had a sad ending or anything like that, or the story was sad. It was, again, a cute little romance comedy, funny, hey, she's mean to him, but she likes him. Kind of like, puppy love, so to speak. I was just sad that, like, wow, I actually really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would, and it actually started formulating a little bit of a plot towards the end with the whole battle of the art with the head of the art club and things like that, and just seeing Nagatoro kind of slowly inch to admitting feelings to Senpai. It wasn't nowhere near where it should be, but yeah, I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that one, and I hope we get a season 2 of Nagatoro, because it was actually a pretty damn good little show. Not that I want Nagatoro to step on me by any means, please, no. a series that I talked about at the very beginning of it airing, but I gotta say has probably been one of the strongest out of everything we've talked about. I want to say this is either the best or hands down top 3. Nobody's gonna tell me otherwise. This is top 3 best of spring 2021, and it's not over yet. But Tokyo Revengers, oh my god, you may have heard me talk about it in my first impression video. You may have heard me talk about it here and there throughout my Forever News episodes, but hands down, that series has had me enthralled. It has had me hooked every single week. Every single week, it's leaving you off on a crazy cliffhanger. It's doing amazing things. I absolutely loved it. Initially, I was kind of sucked in just by like, oh, it's some cool time travel stuff. I'm a huge fan of time travel. I love stuff like Steins Gate, or, you know, take it to a movie, Back to the Future. Like, I love shit like that. So when that was introduced, I was like, maybe this could be interesting. But oh my god, it surpassed my expectations and then some. Arguably one of the best, if not the best anime of spring 2021. If you don't know about it, basically this guy Takamichi, he gets pushed in front of a train. X, Y, and Z happens where he goes back to when he was a kid, or I want to say, what was he, like a teenager or something like that, back in his school days, I believe like 15 or something. And he goes through certain events to try and change the past, because certain events happen where people that he cares about dies. And it's just been phenomenal, from Mikey, just oh my god, Toman, like I've absolutely loved it. It is one of the best. It could go down, it very well could go down as best anime of 2021 in general. I know there's a lot of stuff coming, so I'm not gonna completely stamp that yet, but it has been a shocker. There's a reason why the sales for the manga have shot like hundreds of percent, like 1,000%, something crazy, because the anime has just been great. Like, if there's a criticism I would throw, is that maybe the animation could be better, just being honest. Like, the animation isn't the most fluid at times, but that is like a small critique compared to just, they've done a phenomenal job with it, man. It's every freaking week I'm like, no, Takamichi, why? So Tokyo Revengers, hands down one of the strongest, again, if not the best of spring 2021, and it's gonna go down as one of the top contenders of 2021's anime, because it is so freaking good. Oh my god, you should be watching. I believe there's gonna be 24 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. It's already been confirmed, and we just passed the midway point, and it's good, really good, one of the best. One that I want to mention real quick that I'm not finished with, I just actually started about a few days ago, actually, Vivi, or Vivi, if I'm not mistaken. It's a longer title, but I just call it Vivi. It's basically about this robot that she's an idol singer, or wannabe idol singer. In the beginning of the story, she wants to, but nobody comes to watch her, and then another robot comes from the future to tell her that basically she needs to team up with him so that they could stop a post-apocalyptic world where robots and humans go at it. Because at this point in time, Vivi is actually just the first autonomous robot that is actually, you know, able to move and do things by themselves. But 100 years in the future, technology advances to the point where robots and humans are together, and then a big war breaks out, and it's just really horrible and messy on some almost like Terminator-esque thing. But oh my god, one of the things that is really strong about it, like, I already like the story. It's really interesting. I love, again, like, time travel. Yo, Tokyo Revengers, time travel. Now we're talking about time travel here, but I love that aspect of it. But then also with Vivi, I really love the art. Oh my god, I don't know who's the art director, but whoever it is, they are doing an incredible job. I just love looking at the visuals. They look like they love drawing this shit and painting this shit and all that, because it looks so freaking gorgeous, from the character designs to just in general, even the eyes. They put, like, I don't know, hours and hours into just coloring these eyes. It is a true work of art to just look at alone, and the story has been really interesting and exciting too, going throughout this 100-year process and seeing how time is changing, and, you know, the decisions that must be made. And Vivi's ultimate goal of, well, for her, one of her goals is basically that she basically wants to understand what it means to do things with all your heart, and she's basically trying to sing with all her heart, but because she's a robot, it's like, well, how do I sing with all my heart if I'm a robot? So very interesting concept, kind of gives me a little bit of a Chobits vibe, maybe, without the romance, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so far I'm really liking Vivi as well. And before we talk about the last one that I wanted to talk about on this list, there was a couple of other anime that I have not had the opportunity to watch yet. I believe it's called 86. A lot of people have told me about that one, heard it's good. I haven't gotten a chance to watch that one yet. And the remake of Fruits Basket, that's another one people have been screaming its praise, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it. I watched the original Fruits Basket back in the day, but I haven't been able to watch that one. But now that it's over, I'm going to have a great time marathoning through from the start to finish because I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I loved the original Fruits Basket. It was really, really good, so I'm looking forward to that. And the only other series I wanted to talk about from the spring 2021 anime was To Your Eternity. We also made another video on it, so I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but To Your Eternity, from the art and animation to the story, that I'm not even gonna lie, there's been times, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I feel so compelled to, I gotta drop this. Emotionally and mentally, I gotta drop this because you are making me cry too goddamn much. Like, even as of the recording of this video, it is July 2nd, and it has just, with the latest episode alone, once again made me do that cry, that like, it is really, really freaking sad. It has just been great with this immortal being Fushi that continues to go through time, and just there's death everywhere, and the way it's done is just, oh my god. Like, I just gotta say a quick spoiler. 3, 2, 1. Goo goo! Why it gotta be? Why it had to be goo goo? Why? Okay, last spoiler of this video, I'm sorry. Yeah, To Your Eternity has been fantastic as well. One of the, I'd put in the top 3. Like, if I had to put a top 3 of this season for me, from what I've watched, it would be, and this is in no particular order, Tokyo Revengers, To Your Eternity, and Megalobox Nomad. Again, I'm not caught up with Vivi yet, so I don't know, but those will probably be my 3 strong contenders of the spring 2021 anime. All 3 of them were great, but spring 2021 surprised me. It had a lot of really awesome stuff, and I hope maybe you picked up an anime to watch throughout this video, because I watched a lot of greatness. And yeah, people, I'm curious what you guys think. What are the anime you watched in the spring 2021 anime season? Anything I mentioned that you feel needs more praise, or something I didn't mention that was a really, you know, a sleeper? And if you want to see me do more of these, because I haven't done one of these in a while, like a big wrap-up of the season, let me know. I'll do one for July, and etc, etc. But spring season anime, really, really strong stuff, and a lot of great titles. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yeah, I just talked about a lot of greatness, people. A lot. Have an awesome one.